So this question right here can be the hardest or most difficult to visualize. Or, on the other hand, if you don't overanalyze the question, it could be the easiest question to answer. And the question is, what's the equation of that line right there? Because that line describes the relationship between cost and the number of movies watched. And so the equation we're after really tells us how these two are related. Now, that's kind of a misleading statement, because your inclination should be to have an equation or a formula. We've always used equal sign, and we should use, or have been using, both variables in our formulas or our symbolic rules in our past. And the symbolic rule that tells us here the cost is always going to be $8 no matter what this is really simple. It's a very simple equation. Again, here's my hint to you. It's an equation that says cost is always $8 no matter what's happening here. 14 movies, 8 movies, no matter what. 2 movies, it's right there. 15 movies, it's there at $8. What equation says that the cost is always 8? Or I'll say it a different way. What equation says that C, the cost, is always 8? Well, it's a no-brainer. It's not very difficult if you don't overanalyze. C equals 8. That's saying the cost is 8, no matter what n is. Now, a lot of students don't like that and say, Aaron, that's too easy. We need to have the input variable. Well, here's one way you can think of it. We can't change that 8. We can't do any calculations to that 8. If we were to add, multiply, divide something, then the cost would no longer be 8 for whatever amount of movies you have. But what if we add the number of movies and make that so that it doesn't change the 8? What could we do to the n, the number of movies, so that it doesn't matter what n is, we'll always have an 8? What calculation can we do to that? And so hopefully you're saying this. We can multiply by 0. If we multiply by 0, let me move in there. So that's 0 times n plus, or added to 8. So let me write that better. I can write it this way. 0n. So if I have 14 multiplied by 0, that wipes it out and I still get $8. If I have 2 movies times 0, wipes it out and I still have $8. So that's actually a valid way to write your symbolic rule. Or just this way, if you can buy into the fact that it doesn't matter what n is, the n doesn't have to be a part of the equation or the formula. So either one of those two will work.